First off, Bob, thank you for extending the invitation. Make sure, please, ladies and gentlemen, because I made this pronouncement that a number of Republicans wanted to draft me to run for the Queensboro presidency, that there are no direct actions taken in retaliation for inviting me to speak. Because, you know, I come cheap, dirty water, hot dog, give me unsweetened Kool-Aid, that's all I need. You know, I don't know to get removed from any community boards. You know what I mean? If that happens, I need to know. But most importantly, tonight, I knew that something was amiss in the air. Because of late, I've had some severe stomach issues. It was the result of some issues I had with a guy named John Gotti Jr. and his Gambino thugs back in '92. I have colitis and ileitis. Has anyone ever had colitis and ileitis? You know what it's like when both hit at the same time? It's Krakatoa east of Java. So I had a choice, either sit on the porcelain palace where I do my best thinking, or schlep all the way over here to Middle Village and follow up on the word that I gave to Bob. Well, I had to use some hillbilly heroin. It's oxycodone. You get prescribed that. So that if I'm a little tipsy and doing the tipsy-do, you'll understand. But I would not have missed coming here because I'm in flashback mode. I can remember being here, I think it was 2001. October 2001. See, dementia has not set in yet. Doing pretty good. And I remember it was a very volatile situation. It was candidates night. And obviously they were all here prime time, the mayoral candidates. You had Michael Bloomberg and his staff. And they brought me out because I was a Bloomberg supporter because there was no way we were going to let Mark Green become mayor of the city of New York and go back to the days of David Dinkins and John Lindsay and Amy, etc. So I remember speaking, and I brought up the two riots that occurred during David Dinkins' era. Actually, Crown Heights and then Washington Heights. And then there was a big article the next day in Newsday, oh, Curtis, race baiter, throwing gasoline on the flyer. Mark Green said, Bob, you, the community organization, should be disgraced in having him come and speak on behalf of Michael Bloomberg. And I said, what do they want, revisionism? I get a call from the Bloomberg people, Vinny Labadula, a very good guy, who helped smack him into line, because Bloomberg at first was not a very good candidate. He had the Scarrow, he had the Ducats, the Moolah Shmoolah, but he was a lousy campaigner. So then he calls me up and says, we don't want you on the campaign any longer. It's too close a race, and it was a very close race, if you remember. So I said, not for nothing. Excuse me, Controversy is my middle name. Curtis Controversy Sliwa. And so I come here tonight to speak to you on a number of issues because, as you know, even though I'm a son of Brooklyn, Canarsie, Brooklyn, where I was born and raised, and then realized soon that people in Brooklyn thought I had all the furniture upstairs and rearranged in the wrong rooms because I had this idea of actually getting citizens, young little whippersnappers, black, white, Hispanic, Asian, together to patrol high crime areas, do it in an unarmed fashion, in an identifiable fashion. And people in Brooklyn said, you are a loony kazoo. So I left in the mid-'70s and headed up to the Bronx because in the Bronx they were so desperate for anything that they felt, yeah, this guy is a little odd. You know, if I were rich, they would call me an eccentric person. When you're poor and don't have two nickels to rub together, they call you a screwball. But in the Bronx, I fit in perfectly. And that's where I had an opportunity as a night manager to form the Guardian Angels with just 13 people who worked for me. And now we're in 13 countries and 136. And as you know, recently, because of your mayor, Comrade Bill de Blasio, he's not my mayor. No, I didn't vote for him. He's your mayor. This is on your dime, your time. He always likes to tell us how safe we are in New York City. It is the safest city in America. Except if you're getting shanked and stabbed and slashed and robbed and taken advantage of. Has he looked at the stats lately for the skyrocketing crime in the subways? Because he's always a statistician here. But anyway, put Comrade Bill de Blasio aside because I think somebody may be indicting Comrade Bill de Blasio. I hope, I pray. I'd like to chop his candles tomorrow before Passover, even though I'm a Gentile. But please, let another one bite the dust. Get the daisy chain, perp chain, and lock them all up. Democrats, Republicans, because they don't get the message. They have their feet in. Oh, well, there's a number of things happening here. You never know. There's powers to be. They may be trying to stifle me. The colitis, the ileitis, no microphone. The next thing, my goiter is going to have to be removed tonight. Hey, by the way, if I did have to have my goiter removed, an emergency operation, you've closed so many hospitals in Queens, where the hell would I go to? I mean, think about it. Here it is, right? One of the largest, most prosperous boroughs in the city of New York, with a growing population. I hear from somebody, the most diverse, where the most languages are spoken, and they're closing your hospitals left, right, and every which way. How do they get away with that? They get away with that because they can. And because when the hospitals were closed, people got very nervous and schlubby and said, oh, please, can you reconsider opening my hospital? No, not the hairs of my chinny chin chin. Because what they like to do with Queens is always take advantage of you. Garbage, snow. Oh, that's right, I forgot some of the streets are too narrow to have snow removal. Gee, Queens has always had some narrow streets. Every time I ran the streets of Queens, particularly in Southeast Queens from the 40 projects, when feet don't fail me now, the homeboys wanted to turn me into a speed bump. I ran down a lot of streets that were very narrow and it saved my life. But how could you be running a sanitation department in the city of New York and not know that one of your largest borough, Queens, has a lot of narrow streets? That has to be dealt with. You're a dollar short and a day late. You pay more taxes per capita per person than any other borough. Are you aware of that? More taxes. Oh yeah, I know, you think Manhattan, right? No. They know all the tricks in not paying taxes. Queens does. And you don't get an equal amount of services. But again, your political establishment is in bed with City Hall, and it's led by... Does he represent Arlington or Fairfax, Virginia, Joe Brown? I begin to wonder. I thought little Bayside, Little Neck, Douglaston, maybe even George Neck, on the other side of the George Neck Bridge. But the guy resides not even in the state. Not only is he congressman of one of your most important districts, he's the big mouth, he's the shot caller. He's the one who appoints the judges. He's the one who gets this gun all in one hand, and it goes out the other hand. And it maintains this feeling of corruption that is real. What is the most corrupt Democratic county in America now? Does anybody know? Right, Hudson County, across the river. Is that the most corrupt? It used to be. They used to call New Jersey Soprano Land. No more. Crook County in Illinois, right? Chicago? Clearly, still very corrupt. No, pales in comparison to Queens County, the Democratic corrupt machine. Do you know what's the most corrupt state in America politically for both Democrats and Republicans? You know what state? I think it's Mississippi, Louisiana, Illinois. Think again. It's New York State. Andrew Evil Eyes Cuomo, King Cuomo II, who shut down the Mullen Commission, and he should have been indicted with Shelley Silver, a.k.a. Myra Lansky, Ivan Roth, and Dee the Greek Skills, and a slacker and deadbeat no-show job son. But unfortunately, we didn't have all the goods on him yet. But now let's think of Queens. My discovery of Middle Village and my bond came about through my nose, my schnapps. And I know a lot of you would say, wait a second, you're not Jewish, you're half Italian, your schnoz isn't really big. What are you talking about? When you smell garbage, flotsam jetsam. I grew up in Canarsie. Remember when we had the landfill along Bell Parkway? Fountain Avenue, Spring Creek, we had two, not one, two. And on a hot summer's day, the stink would be so bad, it would twist the hairs up your nostrils. So one day I'm walking my sons around in a baby carriage, because I've had my two youngest sons